are Locked On Lakers POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The Los Angeles Lakers rally, but it's not enough. The big names don't show up, and rookie Dalton Knecht proves once again why he is the steal of the NBA draft. FanDuel, get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can get $5 bets and receive $150 in bonus bets if you win. The Lakers fall short. They lose their third straight home game, another disappointing loss for the Lakers. Lakers fall to the Oklahoma City Thunder 101-93. Again, talking Laker basketball with you throughout the entire year. So we appreciate you joining us even after a tough loss. Don't forget Locked On Sports Los Angeles, Locked On Lakers Postcast can be heard anywhere you get your podcasts. So right now the Lakers, they fall again at home. They have now dropped 3 straight games. That is concerning. So for you as a Laker fan, curious to know at the same time, appreciate your comments, what you think. My name is Dave Palais, again, a longtime credential member with the Los Angeles Lakers. Started covering the team media-wise in the early 90s, and we're with them all the way through the Kobe and Shaq years, to the great years when they're winning championships with Phil Jackson. But the Lakers, it's frustrating because right when you think they're playing their best basketball against the San Antonio Spurs, can they take it home and take on the Thunder? Now, the Thunder's no joke. They're right now the best team in the Western Conference. The deal is the Thunder's 14-4, and they're rolling along, and they continue to win on the road. It doesn't seem to be an issue for them. But for the Lakers, we've always taken pride, whether it's the Forum, Staples Center, now Crypto. The Lakers winning home games has always been a big deal. And for the fans that shell out the money, for the fans that support the team, we talk about a home court advantage. Unfortunately for the Lakers to drop 3 straight games against the Nuggets, the Magic, and now the Thunder at home, very disappointing. When you look at what happened in the first quarter, the Thunder jumped out to a 32-24 lead. And so right there off the bat, going 32-24. Well, if you weren't with the team in the first quarter and you weren't following along as far as what happened, Oklahoma City jumped out to a very quick start. Just a few minutes into the game, they went on a big 11-1 run right off the bat. And at the same time, you go, where's the spark for this team? There was a pretty good spark for this team. It was a good sign as far as moving forward, because we talk about bench play. D'Angelo Russell scoring 7 off the bench was big. We remember just a couple nights ago against the Spurs, when Dalton Knecht, even though he started, he had 10 points in the first quarter. And the 10 points in the first quarter was big because it was a chance for J.J. Redick and Dalton Knecht prove to everybody that, hey, there's a reason why he's in the starting lineup. I'll say it all the time. I'm a huge Dalton Knecht fan. I think he's a guy that obviously deserves to be a starter. This is where he's most comfortable. And you have to find a way to really to get the ball in his hands more. And as good as he is, and, he walks away with his traditional game now, which is funny to say, it's only November and him being a rookie, a traditional game for Dalton Knecht. And you say, well, what does that exactly mean? Dalton Knecht has been outstanding. When he starts the game and the spark that he has been outstanding. And so for him and for what the Lakers are doing, we got to figure out a way to get him the ball more. And I say we because I'm a long-suffering Laker fan. Again, 20 points for Dalton Knecht tonight, 7-17 field goal range, and again, 6 3-pointers made. If you notice what the Lakers do, though, with Dalton Knecht, they're doing a lot of he's open and get him the ball. It's not a lot of, hey, figure out a way to work out screens to get the guy with the hot hand the ball. And for being a rookie and as good as he might be, I think the Lakers really need a concerted effort on how to get Dalton Knecht the ball more often. I think LeBron James would appreciate it. I think Anthony Davis would appreciate it. We'll open things up for the veterans who, as we said a few weeks ago, here's the situation with LeBron James. He's looking older, but I don't know if he's older or if he's just tired. I mean, yeah, he's going to be 40 years old in a month. But when you look at LeBron and what he's done, he's never looked like he's out of shape. I mean, he's a freak of nature. So when I look at 40-year-old LeBron James, I don't put that age with him like I did with some of the other guys that try to play a long time, whether it was a Vince Carter or Robert Parrish. We're like, what are you doing? You don't belong in the league anymore. It's become a circus show. LeBron's not one of those guys. He's still one of the best players in the league. And as a Laker fan, I'm happy he's on the team. And I guarantee you other teams before they play the Lakers are concerned about LeBron James. But LeBron James now, this is 4 straight games where he's been under 20 points. LeBron finishes the night with 12 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, but the shooting wasn't there, just 5 or 13 shots. So at the beginning of the show, when I said the big names didn't show up, LeBron didn't have it. I think as a shooter, when your shot's not on. You look at the last 3-point attempt that he took and how he bricked it badly. He knew his shot wasn't there the entire time, and it hasn't been there in a couple days, which is frustrating. But Anthony Davis, who, y'all hear they're going to hand the reins over to AD, and AD is an MVP candidate. AD has a lot to prove. Well, AD comes off, playing in the summer, and he plays against the best players in the world, and he comes through with 15 points. And you say, well, 15 points isn't a terrible game. 15 points, 12 rebounds, not terrible. 7 assists to go with it, 4 block shots. Here's the problem with the Lakers. He only had 9 attempts shooting the ball, 9. And how can that be? That right there to me is a coaching issue. And, not to sit there and go after JJ Redick day in and day out. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is if Anthony Davis is the MVP of this league, or who you believe is the MVP of this league, 9 attempts is not going to hack it. It doesn't matter who you are. Star players deserve more than 9 shots a game. And so when you look at the starters who started tonight, here are the starters. If you weren't with the team at the beginning of the game: Anthony Davis, Rui, LeBron, Austin Reeves, Dalton Knecht. Do you realize that the only person that shot less than Anthony Davis was Rui? How can that possibly be? And so it becomes very frustrating that the Lakers aren't doing a better job of getting him the ball. Can you imagine a game back in the day when Shaq or Kareem only had 9 attempts? It doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense, and you have to be aware that at some point you have to make adjustments to say, why is our big guy only getting 9 shots? At the same time, the other guys with the hot hand, why are they only getting a limited amount of shots? They should get more. Scary moment in the game as well. Austin Reeves injured his back, it looked like, as he slammed to the floor, and you worry about, his head. Did it hit the floor? It looked like his head did not hit the floor, but you worry about whiplash and neck injuries. And Austin Reeves was not 100%. It was kind of scary actually watching him try and go up and down the floor. You see guys who try and tough it out, but Austin Reeves was in a situation where I think the best news would have been if the coaching staff, you burn a timeout, you get him out of the game as quick as you can. You don't see if he can make it. He was down on the floor a long time. And if you're watching that game on television, like, this is a long commercial break. If we were at Crypto, you're sitting there saying, man, this is a long, long pause to see if a guy is okay, yet to continue. Yeah, he goes in. I understand you're going to sit there and you're going to shoot the free throws, but at the dead ball, you got to take him out immediately or burn a timeout and evaluate him to see where he is at. But he was not 100%. And I always wonder how that goes with the players. Like, the players want to know, am I just a guy wearing the uniform that's trying to help our team win? Or am I just basically a piece of meat, or am I family? And so when you look at teams that always do a good job with that feeling of family, it seems like they go a little bit further. Like, almost a part of management cares about you. Your coaching staff cares about you. Teams that win championships that go that route. And so that was one of those things that's always concerning to me. And it doesn't matter the sport. It could be football, baseball, basketball. But when a player is injured, especially a player that's a starter for you, like Austin Reeves is, it's always a little bit concerning that, hey, why isn't he out of the game? It's only November. We got a long season to go. You have to keep him healthy. He's one of the top players on the team. Everyone respects him. They know he's tough as nails. But Austin Reeves, he has to pull himself out of the game. Kind of disappointing, just my opinion, as far as wondering what's going on. JJ Redick being a former player, his coaching staff's full of guys that are former players. They understand the deal as well. This isn't the playoffs, the postseason, where, hey, you know what? It's the fourth quarter against the Boston Celtics, and we got to see if Austin Reeves is tough enough to go. To me, kind of concerning. Not exactly the message that you want to sit there and hand off to other guys to say, you know what, you're just a piece of meat. I don't know. I'm kind of curious to know what JJ Redick says after the game about that conversation. It's interesting. Lakers, though, lose. That's the most important thing tonight. And as we're frustrated that the Lakers lose, and you lose basically the moxie you have of winning at home, and the team now loses 3 straight games. Where do they go from here? We'll talk about with the Lakers, where they go from here. How do they get better? We'll also go through who's next as well, and we'll take even a deeper dive into the box score and the way why things ended up the way they did. Once again, Lakers final score, if you're just tuning in, 101-93. Lakers end up falling short tonight. Want to mention the people, of course, that helped the show go along. Want to mention the people over at at Skylight Frames. Don't forget, right now is the time where people are Christmas shopping. Do you struggle to find the perfect gift for the holidays? Maybe gift giving isn't your love language. You overthink it a little bit. You wind up with something, maybe nothing at all. Maybe it's a little bit disappointing. Are you buying for someone who has everything and just hard to please? Right now, you got to check out what's going on with Skylight. Skylight's doing a great job. You can bring the whole family together. Setup is extremely easy. It's the perfect gift. Skylight Frame. It's a touchscreen digital photo frame for your entire family. Your family will love it. Upload thousands of photos with your phone and watch them appear in seconds. It takes less than 60 seconds to set up. Invite friends, family. Easy to share your photos. Skylight mobile app or email. Very, very simple. Don't forget, Christmas is just around the corner, and as everyone knows, Black Friday, a lot of people out there shopping today looking for that perfect gift. This year, you can do something a little bit different, and now is a special limited time offer for our listeners. Get $20 off your purchase of Skylight Frame when you go to skylightframe.com/NBA. That's SKYLIGHTFRAME.com/NBA. Get $20 off your purchase now at skylightframe.com/NBA. Very, very simple right there. Looking at see what the Lakers are doing as far as the box score and the way things ended up tonight, not the way we wanted them to end up. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is outstanding. One of the worst moves the Clippers ever made, right? In that trade, not only did you trade a ton of draft picks for Paul Pierce, but you end up trading one of the best players in the league. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or SGA, is one of the premier players in the league tonight. 36 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, and he's great. I mean, not only is he great, but his teammates played fantastic as well. Again, the Thunder, one of the best teams in the league. Jalen Williams with 19 points. Don't forget, at the same time, Chet Holmgren didn't even play tonight. He's not going to be back to after the All-Star break. Dort had added 14, and then Aaron Wiggins off the bench with 7. So the Thunder, complete basketball team. And here's the deal with Oklahoma City Thunder. They aren't going anywhere for years, right? This is going to be one of those teams, one of those franchises. If you didn't hate them before, you're going to hate them for years to come because they're young and they have so many draft picks that are going to come their way. If you're in a situation like the Oklahoma City Thunder, they aren't looking at picking up free agents down the line unless you just get guys that say, hey, I want to win a championship at the end of my career. Nobody wants to play in Oklahoma City. There's the glitz and glamour of playing for the Lakers, the premier organization in the NBA, and you get free agents able to go there. So Oklahoma City realized, you trade some of these so-called stars away, you get draft picks, you make solid picks, and then all of a sudden you're building and you're controlling contracts. And that's what Oklahoma City is doing. And the thing with them, they can trade for veterans in the future who are star players when they need them because they have so many draft picks to offer up. There's only a certain amount of guys you can keep on the roster, but a few years ago, they had like 28 first-round picks headed their way. What do they possibly do? It is one of those teams that you will hate for years to come. Again, they are 15-4 right now, 7-2 on the road, and they're playing solid basketball without their rim protector. So we'll see what happens as far as moving forward with the Lakers and the Thunder. Does it turn into a huge rivalry down the line? We'll have to figure all that out. But for the Lakers, we say, what can you control? And why did things go poorly tonight for the Lakers? I think it's very simple to look at. As I said, the first quarter, D'Angelo Russell coming off the bench with 7 was great. But at the half, you had Anthony Davis. He had 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. D'Angelo Russell finished with 8 points, 6 rebounds in the first half. So only had 1 point basically after his hot start. Austin Reeves, 7, but he was injured. LeBron James, 6 rebounds and 3 assists. And again, SGA, he led the Thunder with 15 points, 5 assists, all that at the half. The Thunder shot 47% from the field, 38% from three-point range. That's outstanding. Lakers, 47% from the field, 24% from three-point range. So as much as JJ Redick has preached all along, we want our guys to keep firing threes. We really don't have that team that has that consistent guy outside of Dalton Knecht. Even when you look at Reeves hasn't been consistent from three-point range. There are games where it looks like he's hot and he found his shot, and there are plenty of games you look at and say he doesn't have it tonight, which is disappointing. And you could say the same thing about a lot of guys. You could say about Rui, you could say about LeBron, you could say about D'Angelo Russell. Three-point shooting is something the Lakers cannot count on. So what do you do if you're Rob Pelinka? Do you go out and you make a move for a shooter? You keep hearing all these rumors that the Lakers are willing to go out and make a move for a guy that's a big man that can bang and get rebounds and block shots, someone with some height and some muscle that can help Anthony Davis out. But it's very, very frustrating to see that the Lakers are struggling in games like this. So for the Lakers, right now, it looks like they're knocked out of the NBA Cup. There's no going to be a repeat champ. I don't know how much it means to basketball fans. I think some people saw that banner and kind of, goofed on it, especially if you didn't win it. But I like it. I like the in-season tournament. I like the floors. I like the way things look a little bit different. Some of these guys, meaning teams with the floors, I think they should be their permanent floor. I think it looks outstanding. I think the Lakers honestly have the best one in the NBA. Earlier tonight, I was watching the Timberwolves and I'm watching the Clippers, and it was bizarre. It looked like watching a green screen, and like the Clippers' feet weren't even touching the floor. It was really bizarre looking. But the Lakers, I like it. I like the fact that you celebrate the small things with the banner. You hang it up. You let everyone else know, hey, we won this thing. And we all know the championship in June, the NBA Finals one, is the one that people count. But why not? It's along the way. And at the same time, we all know that the players, coaches, they get huge bonuses if you happen to win it. So it's something to shake it up. It's one of those things, the NBA, they talk about in the future, what's the best way to market your sport? I'm a big sports fan, like many of you that loves the Dodgers and loves the LA football teams and loves the Lakers. But people don't pay attention, it seems like, to the NBA full blast until Christmas Day. So my suggestion, go ahead, start the first game on Christmas Day. Everybody plays, and you run that schedule all the way into August. You just take away the first couple months and you play it at the end, because we all know as sports fans, it starts to drag a little bit during the summer. Why not stretch out the NBA season, start it late and end it a little bit later, and then figure it out that way? But just a little suggestion right there. So Lakers, when you look at breaking down the quarters, Lakers outscored in the first quarter 32-24. Disappointing that they got off to the slow start. But in the second quarter, they turned it on. Lakers outscored the Thunder 24-19. So at the half, Lakers are right there with the Thunder. Had to feel pretty good going into the locker room outside of the Austin Reeves injury, 51-48. Third quarter, Lakers outscored the Thunder again. It's only by 1 point, but they still outscored the Thunder 21-20. And you're looking at some of these scores that I'm telling you about. These are low scores. And the reason they're low scores is the Thunder is the best team in the NBA when it comes to defense. They create turnovers, they score points off of turnovers, and this is what the Thunder does to be effective. Fourth quarter, it was the Thunder, unfortunately. Thunder outscored the Lakers by 6, 30-24, to give you that final score of 101-93. So right now, when you go against the number one defense in the NBA, and the Lakers, one of the worst defenses in the NBA, a little frustrating. Oklahoma City tonight, here's the stat of the game for you. Oklahoma City tonight, 20 more field goal attempts than the Lakers. They also scored 17 points compared to 9 points to the Lakers off of turnovers. So when you look at the box score, as I always said, there's certain things that will tell you why a team won and why a team lost. You can look at turnovers and you can look at free throws. And free throws for the Thunder, they made 12 of 16 for 75%. And for the Lakers, they were 76%, 16-21 from the free throw line. It's always frustrating when your guy misses a free throw. I mean, you sit and you wonder, how does that happen? And even the days with Shaq, and as good as Shaq was, it was always a little bit frustrating when you didn't get the free throws made. And you need those, especially when you lose the game by just a few and you can count up the free throws and say, why didn't this team pull out a victory? Lakers fall short. So it's always disappointing when you say, man, if you made your free throws, I can add the points up and I could figure out the Lakers would have won this game. So JJ Redick, we'll talk about him. We'll also talk about Dalton Knecht and what he can do. And we'll also talk about what the Lakers can do to get a little bit better. Again, there's always room for improvement with this Laker team as they head into their next game against the Utah Jazz. And we'll talk about that as well in just a second. Want to mention the people over at FanDuel. Don't forget, when you get a hunch, FanDuel are the ones to help you out. Look, the NFL schedule kicks off again tomorrow. Sunday, we've had big games already with 3 on Thursday and 1 on Friday. We've seen college games. Have you felt like you've missed out? Don't forget, the FanDuel app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, if you play-by-play, and so much more with the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com. Join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment count with FanDuel. It's officially sponsored partner of the NFL. Big games coming up. Just one to look at for you right now is the Chargers' disappointing loss on Monday night to the Ravens. Do the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh have something to prove taking on the Atlanta Falcons on the road? Is this a chance where you get that hunch? So don't forget FanDuel. FanDuel is the one to ride with for the entire NFL season. JJ Redick, where do you stand with JJ Redick? I thought today he actually called his timeouts in the right fashion. We spoke about this a couple days ago about Pat Riley, how he always seemed to know when to call his timeouts and use his timeouts when the other team seemed to gain momentum. It seemed like JJ Redick was calling Redick was calling his timeouts in a way of a college basketball coach, meaning that if he saw something he didn't like, he would stop the action. And in the NBA, it's a little bit different. You're dealing with pros who have played a long time, and you're dealing with young college players that maybe they play 1 year now, but they step in. They learn quick on the rhythm of the game of being a professional basketball player. So overall, is JJ Redick doing a better job? He's learning. He's getting better. The players seem to respect him. I think overall, he's going to be okay. I still like the hire. I still no complaints from the head coach. I'm really curious to see what Rob Pelinka sees. What does Rob Pelinka see and how this team can get better? There's always room for improvement on what the Lakers could possibly do to get better. So it's one of those where we want to see them win. Right now, they're dropping disappointing games. What can they do to possibly get better? You look at points off the bench because that's the direction they would go. Besides D'Angelo Russell, who had 17 points, and Gabe Vincent, who had 2, just 1-on-1 shooting in 15 minutes, and Max Christie, who seems to be playing a little bit better than he was, especially at the beginning of the year. Max Christie seemed to find his game in San Antonio. Can he stay consistent? Well, tonight it looked like he stayed consistent. Max Christie only had 3 attempts, but he made 2 of them. Pretty good. He shot 1 3-point shot. He didn't make that one, but free throws 4. So he did his job at the line where some of the other guys didn't do their job. Cam Reddish has been relegated to the bench in place of Dalton Knecht. Right now, he's just a guy. Cam Reddish hasn't found his spot on this Laker team in a way to contribute. And so it's a little bit disappointing with him. With 13 minutes of play, he shot the ball 1 time, missed his 3-point shot, didn't get any free throw attempts, no rebounds, no assists, no steals, no blocks, 2 personal fouls. And Cam Reddish is basically giving you nothing as far as sparks off the bench. And that's your bench players right there. Outside of D'Angelo Russell, the Lakers got nothing. And what's the right move for this team to get more of a spark? Well, Dalton Knecht is supposed to be that spark for the Lakers. Right now, he's doing his job. 33 minutes, 7 of 17 tonight from the field. Pretty good. 6 3-pointers, pretty good. Finishes with 20 points. We spoke about it earlier. How can we get him more shots? And I think it's done through screens. And if you see the way that Steph Curry does it for years, he's not just wide open and finds a shot by the time the ball goes around to him, or it's thrown off to D'Angelo Russell or Anthony Davis, and then he flips it out to Dalton Knecht. It just happens to be he has a quick release. He's able to get that shot off. But I think they almost need to do a little bit better job of figuring out a way of weaving them through the lane, in and out, finding that corner, and then shooting it. It works for Steph Curry. It's worked for years, all the way to the Hall of Fame. Why can't it work for Dalton Knecht? Instead, he's just sitting out there waiting for an opportunity to shoot. This is where JJ Redick and the coaches need to figure out a way to get really one of your top players the ball. And he's become a fan favorite for a reason. He's become a fan favorite because he's great. He's very, very good at this age. Again, he's one of those guys that was in college a long time. He's not your typical rookie. He's a guy that's in his 20s. I always joke around about the rookies who have to play 3 years before they can even go out with the guys where they're legally 21 to enjoy a talk and whatever you're going to do at a restaurant and a bar. Dalton Knecht's already a vet. I mean, he's old enough where he has seen a lot of basketball, played a lot of basketball, has been a leader. Austin Reeves, again, it's consistency. I can't figure out why Austin Reeves, his shot isn't consistent. Tonight, 3 of 11, 29 minutes, 1 of 9 from 3-point range. I mean, that's just brutal. 1 of 9 turns into rebounds for the Thunder, turns right back into points. So 11 points for Austin Reeves. I understand he wasn't 100%, but we've seen these games from Austin Reeves when he hasn't been injured, and he's gone in and his shot's just not falling. Very, very strange. Anyone who's ever been to a Laker game beforehand, I always say get there as early as you can. Watch the guys warm up. It's amazing because these guys are outstanding shooters. I remember watching Kurt Rambis, who nobody thought Kurt Rambis was a great shooter. But if you watch Kurt Rambis by himself, never missed. You watch AC Green by himself, never missed. These guys are that good where they can hit jump shots. Well, I was at the very first Laker game of the year this year when they hosted Minnesota, and Austin Reeves wasn't making his shots with nobody on him. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Austin Reeves doesn't look like Austin Reeves. Well, we still haven't seen Austin Reeves look like Austin Reeves on a consistent basis. So it's frustrating. 1 of 9 from 3-point range, especially when you're getting looks to go, why aren't those shots falling? LeBron James tonight, 0 of 4 from 3-point range. You look at Rui, 0 of 1, basically a 3-point range. And of course, Anthony Davis, he didn't attempt any. But 3-point shots, which are supposed to be a big deal for the Lakers, 11 of 38. You know, the math that Daryl Morey came up with MIT when he was with the Houston Rockets, now with the 76ers, was the 3-point shot is the shot that will win you games. The corner three is supposed to be the highest percentage shot in the NBA. But the Lakers shooting 11 of 38 from 3-point range isn't going to get it done. And it's always frustrating that every team seems to have that automatic shooter. Thunder had one coming off the bench today. The Lakers don't have that guy except possibly Dalton Knecht being that guy, as he shoots about 50% from 3-point range. So if you aren't playing good defense, you aren't making your 3-point shots, you aren't making your free throws, that's the reason why your team has lost 3 straight games at home, and that's something that needs to be fixed. That's something when you hear JJ Redick say, man, I'm having a hard time sleeping, and I go back and I look at game film, and I'm frustrated that things aren't going the right direction for this team. What do you possibly do? Well, I tell you what, we think we just gave you a bunch of answers. I think a lot of Laker fans who have watched this for a long time can say things don't look right. Here's the deal. Craig writes in the chat, Pelinka's a do-nothing GM. Well, he's a GM that shakes things up. I don't know if he exactly makes the right moves. I'm not one of those that saying Pelinka's a terrible GM. Like, do you remember when we signed, and this wasn't Pelinka, but do you remember when the Lakers like 12:01 at night signed Mozgov? And we're like, wait, that was our big move? We had to wait till 12:01 to get Mozgov when he was a free agent? I think the whole league laughed at us. I don't think the league laughs at Rob Pelinka, but at the same time, we know the Lakers have a hard time finding shooters, finding support off this bench. And so it always feels like in training camp when you're looking at the Lakers, man, which guys aren't going to make the team? It's tough. How are you going to get this thing down? It doesn't feel that way now when you look at the roster. You feel like this roster is about 6-7 deep, maybe, and they have to do something to shake it up. I understand original one, 1960 says the season's a marathon. It is, okay? But we would need to finish, meaning we, Lakers, need to finish in the top 4 to really give a serious run in the playoffs. They got to get the seeding right to have a chance to make a run. Too many turnovers, Craig says. That's what I said, Craig. Too many, whereas the other team doesn't commit the turnovers as much as the Lakers. They outscore the Lakers off of turnovers. They make the free throws. All the things that basically equal good basketball. The Lakers can be a better team, and I think we all know there's room for improvement. I don't think there's anyone in that Laker locker room that is okay with the way things ended tonight. You had the Thunder basically on the ropes. You took the lead against them a few times. You had a chance to close that game out, but when it mattered most, the Lakers weren't able to close out the Thunder, and that's why the Thunder have the best record in the West. So what's next for the Lakers? What's next for the Lakers is they will face the Utah Jazz on Sunday night in Utah. As we mentioned before, this is a stretch where the Lakers have a lot of road games. Utah Jazz, this is a good team for the Lakers to face right now because the Jazz are one of the worst teams in the league. The Jazz are 2-7 at home, 4-14 overall. Jazz not a very good team. The only team with the worst record than the Jazz right now is New Orleans Pelicans. Right now, you look at the Jazz at 4-14, 10.5 games out already. That's amazing. In November, that's not a good sign, but I think people in Utah understood what you're getting. For the Lakers, it works out perfect. A great chance to get healthy. This is where you take advantage of what should be an automatic win, just like they took care of business in San Antonio. Right now, looking at the standings, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder 1, the Rockets 2, still not sold on the Rockets. Golden State Warriors are 3, Memphis is 4, Denver is now 5, and people in Denver not happy with their team, but the Lakers are at 6. Lakers are 11-8 right now, 6. We want to get in the top 4. I think the Lakers have the ability to get in the top 4. I think the Lakers are better than the Rockets. The Warriors, I'm still not sure about the Warriors, and the Memphis Grizzlies, those seem to implode. Not sold on them exactly. Speaking of possible moves, because Rob Pelinka said it, December would be the time that they would make moves if he didn't like the way things were going. Any interest in making some of these trades? So, we talk big names all the time because they're the sexy thing to do. But for the Lakers, do you want to find a shooter? Who do you want to see the Lakers pick up to make this team better? You're hearing talk that even Zion's available from New Orleans. Injured all the time. But is he injured all the time because he's on New Orleans and doesn't want to feel like This is a team I need to sell out for. And if he comes to the Lakers and plays with guys like LeBron and AD, it will be different. Who knows? But that's one of the big names you're hearing. I agree, though. Original one says Lakers got to make a trade. I think they need to make a trade. Craig Osterberg says Trae Young. Man, I would love to see Trae Young. And he's one of those guys that has a relationship with LeBron. But at the same time, he's a three-point threat. We've said that for years. We need the three-point threat. And that's what, to me, if that's what J.J. Redick wants to sell, that's the player he was. That's what I think Laker fans would buy into most. But if he's a three-point threat and you have Dalton Knecht on the other side who's a three-point threat, how are you going to get these guys the ball? And I think a lot of that comes down to coaching. They got to figure out answers on how to basically get a little bit better to become one of the premier teams in the league. Right now, they are not. It's November. You have plenty of time to figure it out, but you want to figure it out before it's too late. You all of a sudden the standings become one of those where teams are 2-3 games ahead of you in the standings instead of one game ahead of you or half a game ahead of you. The Lakers, a lot of work to do. So don't forget, we'll be back on Sunday. Utah Jazz will be hosting the Lakers. This is a great chance for a Laker win. Kind of curious to hear what you think about your thoughts on the Lakers and what they needed to do to get better. But again, I appreciate you paying attention and participating in the show, listening to every one of these. Locked On Sports Los Angeles is where you can get your podcast. Locked On Lakers podcast, POSTCAST is done with me. Don't forget, Brian and Andy, they do a great job hosting Laker podcasts every single day on the Locked On Sports Network. Don't forget, Locked On Sports, you can catch Andy and Brian, and also Locked On Lakers Postcast with me can be heard anywhere you get your podcasts. So again, thank you for tonight. Lakers, unfortunately, they lose 101-93, fall a little bit short, but we'll be back on Sunday, hopefully talking about a win. Thank you so much for participating. Again, you can follow me on social media right there at Dave Palais. Every single platform. Usually X is probably the easiest way if you want to communicate with me. Happy to chat with you even when the Lakers aren't playing. But have a good night, everybody.